Between the 1960s and 1970s, South Carolina was stained with blood. Among the inhabitants of a town, there was a rumor of a serial killer that everyone knew about but no one dared to confront.
He kept bringing people to my house, and he would say, well, he called me Half Pint. He said, Half Pint. He said, will you fix this one so-and-so something to eat? And I would do it, but they would leave and never come back. I would never see them again.
Donald Pee Wee Gaskin's own daughter didn't understand what was going on. Her father was someone feared within the town where they lived, and even she couldn't fathom what was going on around her. However, everything would begin to become clear after a horrifying discovery.
I guess I was overwhelmed because, I had been in law enforcement for some 12 and a half years prior to this, and I'd never seen anything of that magnitude.
In total, 6 bodies were found buried, something that would mark the officers who discovered them, as well as Shirley, who was slowly learning about her father's crimes. Ultimately, it would be Gaskin's own daughter who would deliver one of the most terrifying reasons why her father committed the murders that ended up making him famous. This would mark the investigation, but would also horrify everyone surrounding the family.
He said every so often he would get this urge that he would have to see blood. He called himself a vampire. He said his stomach would get to hurting. He said he would just get tied up in knots. He said he just couldn't be still. He would just tremble all over, and it would not stop until he killed somebody.
The figure of Pee Wee Gaskins began to take on notoriety. He was someone who embodied the worst of humanity, where not even his family escaped his sins. He needed to kill, and even if he wasn't given an opportunity, he sought one in order to satisfy his urge.
It's a little scary to say that a serial murderer is an addict, but if you really look at it in that context, in a way they are an addict. They have to do it. They have to do it.
Gaskins's behavior and crimes were nothing new. From a young age, he was a troubled person. He had been in reform schools and jail, places where he was harassed and reviled for his stature. However, the revenge would be worse than the abuse.
Gaskins realizes that if he wants to avoid being sexually abused for the length of his sentence, he too has to become a power man.
This is how, in the most bloodthirsty manner possible, Pee Wee decided to murder the prison's most respected convict, something that would elevate him to the position of respect he expected. However, this would also be the beginning of his thirst for blood, a need that would lead him to commit crimes just for the fun of it.
He used to travel up and down the road and pick up hitchhikers, and he would torture them.
Family problems and abuse since he was a child were some of the reasons psychologists looked for to explain Gaskin's bloodthirsty behaviors. However, they all came to the same conclusion.
The pattern of Gaskin's life has been of a boy who learned how to commit crime and to commit more sophisticated crimes. It's the pattern of a life whereby a boy learns how to be a power man by using violence to ensure that he gets his way in the world.
Pee Wee became one of America's most recognized killers.
Hipotéticamente podría ser que la hija esté dentro de ciertos umbrales de tolerancia respecto de la conducta del padre, ¿ya? Lo más probable es que se haya habituado a la conducta del padre, a entender la conducta del padre. Y lo más probable es que haya existido conductas adyacentes a las conductas de asesinato, ¿sí? Que ella las conocía muy bien, que las sabía, pero como era su figura, su referente, ¿sí? Le parecían naturalizadas.
He was someone who achieved notoriety for his neatness while committing his crimes, but who still, even after his execution in the electric chair, can count on the affection of a daughter who will live with those sins until her death.
I mean, I'll always love my dad. I mean, he was my dad. You know, that's something you can't change, and you can't stop love. If you love somebody, you love them. And, you know, I love my daddy.